Tim Hoffman, thank you so very much for joining us on an indie comics creator interview. You're number 9, so we're going to sit down with you today and we're going to go over Boy in a Sewer. How
Yes,
you doing
sir. Thank
today?
you for having me. I'm
You're
doing
welcome.
great.
You're welcome.
I'm doing
And
great.
and,
Thank you.
and just so everybody knows, Tim's in Germany right now, so you're our first international.
Really?
Yep, yep,
Really?
yep, yep. Yep, we
All
might
American?
get another individual. We have 2 people. We're trying to make it all happen, but the technology is
Really?
there, but we've all got to kind of do some learning. But yes, so we're excited to have you, not only because you're coming live from Germany, but because of Boy in the Sewer. So why
The
don't you
boy in
just
the
give us
sewer.
a quick, hi, how are you, and who you are, and then we'll get right down into the nitty gritty.
I am good. My name is Tim Hoffman, and I go by the artist name of Ply Peach. Um, well, if you're interested, I can explain the name a little, Ply Peach,
Please.
because well, it's always a combination of cuteness and violence when it comes to my art. And there's a file in the Mario games. I think it's the old Mario Kart or something. And there was a the developer who got fired, and he wanted to take revenge on Nintendo or some kind of some shit like that. And in the Peach file, you all know Peach, right? The princess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the Peach file, when you access the Peach file, he hid a picture of an AK-47. So, and the name of the data was Ply Peach, and I think that was the perfect combination of violence and
Oh,
cuteness,
cool,
you
cool,
know?
cool. So, yeah, the Easter egg. So, Boy in the Sewer is your first release, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. My first
All
release,
right.
yeah,
All right. So,
yeah.
let's jump in, and you're going to talk about how you went about putting together your indie. And by the way, I love the format. I like this so much. So, why did you choose this format instead of the comics format?
Well, I want to be honest here. I mean, when I started out, it wasn't as planned as it now looks. I just do sometimes I just start, and I started and I just drew and I just kept in mind that I used almost on every time when I sketch I used a square. But I was
Mm-hmm.
on the third page or something and I was like, oh fuck, I forget to format it and I don't want to rearrange it. But as I thought of it, and that's always the thought I'm going through every time I draw with every page. What do I have? I want to draw what I want to draw, not what I have to draw.
Yes.
And so there was no reason for me to change it because I felt it was right for it. The story, all the panels were in the right order. I felt like I was flowing through. So I just left it in that format. And I think it fits everything pretty good. Yeah.
Unifies it. Just
Yeah.
gets it all
Yeah.
together. I think I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah. Mm, so what was the second question?
Oh, just is this an autobiography?
It could be, right? I I can
How did this start?
I
Because
can tell
like
you
I said, I read it a second time this morning, and
really.
I just had that thought. I was like, gee, I wonder if this happened to Tim.
So okay, first of all, I never been to the sewers. Maybe I do. Maybe for the second time, I will do a release only in the sewers in Germany. We can go down. Oh, would be a cool stunt. Would be a cool stunt, to be honest.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Um, no, I think sometimes when I draw things, and I'm finished, then I look at it. I think yeah, maybe there's something I didn't recognize on first sight when I drew it.
Mm,
So when it comes to Boy in a Sewer, I remembering like as a kid I was very scared. So was like scared of all the obstacles of the world outside. Everything is
mm.
bigger, everything is stronger. And so when I remembered back, it was like that you was that I was that like fragile little child and moving through a world that is bigger and dangerous and more powerful than me. And I think that's the core of every fairy tale, right? Or of a children's book. So you got that little character who's vulnerable and he tries
Yeah.
to maneuver through a world which is more powerful and very dangerous than more dangerous than him. And I wanted to create that feeling that he is basically lost and yeah, everything can harm him in this world, but he managed to adapt and survive it somehow, you know?
Well, I
And
also have a note. I mean, are
yeah,
you familiar with Joseph Campbell's Hero of a Thousand Faces? The whole hero's journey. Like,
no,
you
I'm
heard
not.
of that?
No, I'm not. Tell me
Make
about
a note. Make a note. Well, it got very, very much publicized. Joseph Campbell and this book he wrote called A Hero of a Thousand Faces, which takes all the world's mythologies and fairy tales and sort of boils them down into a 12 stages of an adventure.
it. Okay.
And I couldn't get away from like I wonder if Tim actually is following something in that similar vein. But the fact that
Yeah.
you're not familiar, but you
No.
still picked up on it proves Joseph Campbell's because he's talking about our internalized archetype. We all
Yeah.
we all have the same, like you said, fears,
Yeah.
the challenges, and then we
Right.
create imagery towards it, which you've done
Yeah.
fabulously here. So,
Thank you.
um,
Yeah. So I
so
will.
who's, yep,
Yeah.
keep going. Yep,
No,
keep going.
I will read it. You said Campbell, right?
Yes, Joseph Campbell, Hero of a Thousand Faces. I'll even put a link
Okay.
in the description to
Nice.
Amazon to buy
Yes. Yes.
it.
No,
So who's
it's just
who's
yeah.
influencing you? Who's influencing you
Oh,
stylistically?
that's a good question. I think I recently went to the went to the attic and put all my boxes on the floor with my old drawings. And as I can remember, when I was very little, about like I don't know, it could be like 4 or 5. I don't know why, but my drawings they were pretty violent, pretty with monsters and sharp teeth and blood and but
Hmm.
but but it all stopped at a certain point and it went from very violent to very cute. So I don't know why. So there were these 2 stages, and remembering I was like, I don't know, when I was 7 or 8, you got that Blockbuster store. You remember that, right? Yeah,
The block. Yeah.
we yeah. And when I was like 8, my mom always took me to the Blockbuster store so I can rent like a children movie or something. So the first thing I do, I just ran to the adult corner and looked at all the horror movies. Of course, I was not allowed to see it. So I looked at the back of the horror movies like a Chucky, Hellraiser, or Cujo, and I looked at the back, and you have all the pictures with the description, right? And I tried to, take everything, consume everything as much as I can. Ran back, so fuck the other video. My mom ran it. It doesn't interest me anyway. The child movie. So I just draw the monsters I saw, on the back. Um, and that was that phase. And after that, I stopped for a long time. And I think when I was like, I don't know, maybe 11 or maybe 12 or 13, I don't remember. I started to draw again, but for other people. So cute cards or cute animals, cute little stories, you know, but nothing with violence. Um, but the first thing, the first time I realized it all it all sorry for my English, I have to search
No,
for the words.
it's all right. It's
um,
all right.
it's it all merged together, and I felt, you know, there's someone else who had that vision. I think it was Ren and Stimpy. What? Yeah, John Kay. Yeah, right. Whew. Um,
Are
let's
you
see.
all digital, Tim? Tim, are you all digital, or are you like pen
I'm
and
now.
inking and then
I
bringing it into
I'm
in the
now.
computer?
I'm not. I didn't start digital, but right now I'm 100% digital, and I think
Oh,
I I won't go back anytime soon. I guess because I'm so much
what are you
faster.
using? What
I'm so
program are
much
you
faster.
using?
Um, I'm using Autodesk
Okay,
SketchUp,
okay, okay.
and I got my little old, I don't know what it is. It's a Samsung like tablet
Yep.
with the stylus pen. I think I think um I think Samsung is better than Apple because you have to charge the Apple thing, you know, the Apple pen. But on
Right,
Samsung you don't
right.
have to charge it. So
Yep, yep.
yeah. So my
And
grayscale
are you?
process, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, no.
Sorry.
You keep going. Keep going. Yep. Go. Keep going.
What it is? I think it's I started out with colors, but I wanted to limit it
Mm.
myself in black and white, and but I wanted to give it a little. Oh, it's hard to say in English. So when you look at it, it's black and white, but you almost can feel the colors. You know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what
It's
you mean.
it's not black and white like you guys do, but it's like almost if you drained out the color, you know, but
Yeah,
but it's not
yeah,
like that. So
yeah.
it almost looks like it was meant to be colored, but I just removed the color, but I shaded it like this.
And you did a very excellent job at that because I
Oh
would
man,
not have
thank you.
been as surprised. I would not have been surprised if you said, "Oh, well, this is all color."
Yeah,
Um, I just
yeah,
did a black and white
it's
version,
not.
but the compliment really goes to your values. So you understand even the black and white values in color, and that's
Oh,
always what I have. That's the number one pet peeve I have with digital coloring across the board is a majority of people don't understand basic gray value. So you're getting these just garish colors hitting you, and you're having a hard time, kind of following a comic book or even looking at the
yeah,
image. But
yeah.
your storytelling is it's just it's well packaged in this gray value. So kudos to you because it's hard to find stuff like this that is this well done in black and white values and color.
So so are you accusing me? Did you accuse me of removing the colors for the print, or
I
did
would
you
not.
did you
I would
did
not
you?
have been surprised. I would not have
Okay,
been. I
yeah,
would not have
I
been
see that.
surprised.
I see
But I
that.
would
Yeah,
still commend you. I
yep,
would still commend you on even if you colored it. You
yeah.
might even just had the intention of just turning it into black and white. I've done that. I have colored
Oh, really?
because I just felt the values were stronger in the colors and then printed the work as black and white.
I think I think it's I mean when I look at your work, I mean I read the teaser, and it's really we can go to the into detail later, but I just want to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
one thing. I think I mean I'm for like I'm working as a photographer full time, Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so I want to give an example what for me was the biggest lesson in photography, and you can also put it in comics or in art. So I want to give you an example. So there's this guy, and he knows all the Photoshop tools, has the best camera, has the best, I think you know where I'm
Yes.
going, right?
Yes, I did. But keep going.
You won't do shit without the feeling. When you don't have the feeling, you can't do shit, really. And sometimes, and
Yeah.
the hardest part, and I know this by myself, it really gets hard when you try to explain the feeling to somebody who
Yes.
has not the feel understanding of the
Yes.
feeling.
Yes.
There's this X factor you just can't explain. But I think you're getting close to it when we're having conversations like this with you guys,
Yeah, no, that
because
that will be because
mm,
between us and you, there is an extreme stylistically, but we're both very conscientious of the value of black and white in print, and so yeah, we'll pick that conversation back up, towards the end.
yeah,
But jumping into the next segment, Tim, what are you doing to promote this? I know we know that it's basically brand new, and but what are you doing in promotion wise?
man, I'm kind of shitty in promoting.
You're
To
doing
be
this.
honest,
You've come
I'm
on
not doing
our.
this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Yeah. Um, no, I don't have Instagram. I don't have TikTok or stuff like that. I mean, but it's a decision for me. I don't want to do that because I don't see it gets mixed up in a pool of things I don't want to get in touch with, and
Sure.
it's I say that because I know me. So when I would have Instagram, I would spend most of this time scrolling through shit that doesn't get me anywhere, and I just waste my time more
Yeah.
on the phone, and I just want to keep it.
Good for
So
you.
the only medium I use is Behance, right?
A little bit. I did notice that your the web link you have is for them. What's that
Eh,
like?
Could you look at the look at the stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Um, Basically, it's like Instagram, but only for art. So there's just art, photography, comics, paintings, and nothing else. But it is really hard to get recognition there. Um, what I do is update my digital portfolio, and I entered a few competitions. Um, but these art competitions, man, you don't have a chance, man.
Yeah. It's
This is
tough. It's tough.
there are about, I don't know, 5 or 6 thousand people, and you pay money for it, and basically, man, your chances are so slim. And when I started, I was really focused on these design platforms, and the fancy people. The fancy people. I tried to sell it to the fancy people, but I I realized, and then understanding that now, the design people don't have the understanding what a comic dude has. They're just
Yeah.
flipping through and just like they're not on the same level. Um, Otherwise, I just hand it out to people, and I did send it in, but I never get a like reply. But
Back.
that's that that's not that's not I can deal with that. That's no big deal. I mean, in the first
Yeah.
place, when you do this and you get thrown back or knocked out by that, you shouldn't start in the first place. Yeah, no stress, man. I got time.
No, it's I you know I I really sympathize. The promotion part is a maze. I'm lucky that I'm, working with Kurt here, and Kurt's, has his finger on the pulse, for all the different apps and platforms. And I tried different platforms here and there. I make accounts, um, but you just got to find the one that suits you. I'm
Yeah.
getting a little bit more into Tumblr right now, but
Oh,
still just
really?
trying it out. And you meet people a lot of different ways. I find that just meeting people at Comic Cons, is the old fashioned way. That
I like
that
that.
one at
I
a
like that.
time, and and then maybe you set up a table or you share a table, but just however it happens, it happens. It's really not
Yeah.
about the number of people that you meet. It's
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Nah.
the quality of the
Yeah.
connections that you can make.
Yeah. I think so too.
Tim, when we initially started communicating, you made mention that you didn't have a lot of people around you. Are you not in one of the major metropolitan areas in Germany? Are you like out in the suburbs?
That sounds so that make me sound so lonely, Kurt.
Well, I didn't say the countryside. I could have said the countryside, like you're in a farmhouse
Yeah.
near France, in
I'm in the
Enzel
sewers.
Kiefer.
I'm in the sewers in Germany, remember?
Sewage treatment plant number 39. But
Um,
you're not in or near any of the big cities like Berlin or
I'm near Munich. You know Munich?
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. I've
Yeah,
not been
it's
there,
about
but I'm familiar.
yeah. I live in a. It's not a tiny city, but it's called Würzburg.
Okay.
But if you ever travel to Germany, go to Würzburg. They got the best wine in Germany, and I think
Oh, I'm there. I'm there.
really, 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 really. I will send you a bottle, right? I'm gonna send you a bottle, you and Jake.
Oh,
Okay?
oh,
Really?
jeez.
You have
That you
to.
don't
You
have
have
to.
to.
You don't have
You
to, but
have.
you if you do,
Why?
thank you. Thank
Why?
you.
Why? Why?
Thank you. No, thank you.
If
Seriously.
I got,
That's great.
I have to beg it up when I say we got the best wine. So at least I have to beg it up, right?
Okay.
Am I
Okay.
right?
All right. And
Tell
then the next
more.
time we have you on, when next time we have you on, we're going to drink wine.
Nice. I, I I don't drink wine, but my girlfriend
She
my
can, so
girlfriend
she can join.
my girlfriend always praises me. Well, Tim, when you meet somebody, always tell them we got the best wine. We got the best wine, and it's always is it.
That's awesome.
Um, no,
So
it's it. Yeah,
you've not made it yet. So does Munich has to have like a Comic Con or something to that effect? Because I know there's a lot going on in Europe. Do you?
yeah, that yeah they have a Comic Con, but it is hard to it is hard to describe. Um, every artist is different, and
Sure.
for for me working on my first release, it was like, I mean, the story. I was so deep in the story, and I felt like it was so the process was so how you say it in English, like made of a glass so vulnerable that I
Ah, yeah.
didn't
Yep.
that I don't want to like share or too many opinions or stuff like
Yep.
that. I just want to,
Yep.
and I think that's it really. I had the feeling when I share it too much in the process, I will get thrown off the rails and just like never finish it.
Yeah, it's too many voices in your head.
Yeah, right.
Yep, yep, yep.
That's
Yeah,
right.
same
Yeah.
here. Same here. But here's an idea. Have you thought about publishing this on Amazon as a children's book?
The parents gonna kill
Because
me.
no, 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 no. I I wrote this down, and I'm just going to make the statement. You could classify this as an anti-drug book.
Nice. That's right.
Because like I said, the first time, anytime you do some, anytime at least when I read a comic book, the first go, I'm just mesmerized by what is being given to me. So I'm just, oh my God, look at all this, look at all this. So the story is always secondary. So for me to come back and read the story, then I'm getting the whole thing. And like I said, I'll wait a couple days and then I'll sit down. But when you start right out of the gate. Oh no, wait, here's it. Yeah, this one right here. Like I lingered on this. It's so
Perfect children's book, right? Yeah. Especially
yeah, I mean, like, isn't this how it's supposed to be? Like, you see the character, that could be me, and then you see the drugs, and then the drug dealer, and then the next thing you know, you see what happens to somebody right here, right here. If you do drugs, this is going to happen to you. And then he's just trying to get his wallet back from a drug dealer, and that's down in the sewer. But when
yeah.
it gets, and the ending is so, and I don't really want to go into the ending because I want people to buy this, because the ending, I think, is also what ties it up as an anti-drug message. Now, that doesn't mean it has to be for children, like kindergartners and stuff, because we're getting younger people are being faced with the decision of whether to do drugs or not, even younger than being just like in junior high school when I was first introduced to them, and said no. But here we have something that, at least on Amazon, if the classification is that way, then you might even find some similarities in other people and maybe connect with them. Because I would suspect that you would do better connecting one-on-one with other,
Parents.
like, let's say, or children's book authors,
yeah.
than let's say old school, or what's going on right now, comic book promotions, which lead you into a comic book convention. 2 cents. I'm just throwing 2 cents in.
Yeah. There's this really good artist in Germany who lives in a sewer and he draws creepy children's book, like from the description on Amazon.
Are you familiar with Tommy Unger?
No, who's that?
Tommy Unger. I will once again put links in there. He is one of my favorite artists in, let's just say, cartooning. There's a documentary on him. I think his name is spelled Tomy, and then it's Unger, Ungerger. But he comes to New York. He's German, I believe German, and comes to New York, and immediately start in the '60s, late '60s or mid '60s, and starts doing children's books, right? And they take off. They take off, and he's making hand over fist. Well, in the documentary, and I haven't seen it in a while because it's now hard to get a hold of because it became very controversial, and he's still very controversial in the United States. He had to move to Canada to get away from all the controversy, because he runs into a young lady on the streets of wherever he's living, New York or something, gets to converting with her, and she's into bondage, BDSM, right? And he doesn't engage, at least this is what he says, he doesn't engage with her in the physicality of it, but he becomes very visually connected to it. So he starts doing all these illustrations and writing these books about BDSM. And the thing is, he's so prolific, he starts publishing, I think in Europe or something. Anyhow, I think by the time he's like 20 years into being a children's book author. They're writing newspaper articles, the New York Times, the New Yorker and stuff, and it gets out.
Wait. Did he like put that bondage stuff into his children's book?
Nope. He just did separate work, but he just used his name. He didn't call himself Hungry Ami or something. He didn't have a nom de plume. He just he just started publishing, basically what we consider classification erotica. But when the American parents, mom specifically, got a hold of this, there's a coalition to ban his books, and it did start happening systematically. And so this documentary is completely told from him. So it's not a secondhand. It is him in his very, very twilight years. He passed away, I think, in 2010, and this was like a 27 or something
Yeah,
documentary.
yeah.
But the reason I just bring it up is it gets, I think it's harder and harder for people to, I kind of like stick to genre in a sense. Like, you got children's book and it should only look like, what's that, Peter Rabbit, or what was that rabbit's name? I forget his
Yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah.
But like that, we just have these, very feminine watercolor style stuff. But to get back to your story, as a children's book, even if it's down here in black and it's a little difficult to read, and it says, a anti-drug message, you kind of, I don't know, a progressive young couple who have children, and knowing that they're going to end up being engaged in it. I don't know. This might be one of those afternoon reads, not a read to the end of the at the end of the
But
day.
that's a very interesting point. But because when I was younger, my first children's book that I got when I lived in China for a while because my dad worked there, and then we returned. And my first book I got here in Germany was a German book called the Strubbelpeter. You know it?
No, what's that translate to?
Um, but that's hard. It's like Strubbelpeter. It's like you call that you can call that a kid with messed up hair. He's like, oh, you're a
Okay,
Strubbelpeter today, something like that.
okay,
And
all right.
and that is in Germany, from all the people who were, I guess, born in the like from 60s, 70s, and 80s. That's the most famous children's book here.
Oh yeah.
And because you said it, because the message, you point to the message that is very, very, very drastic in a very drastic way when you look at my art compared to a children's book. So that it was very violent. It has like all these lessons for children. There was that one lesson, you can't let your nails grow out because then there is that guy with a big scissor and he will cut off your fingers. And you all see,
I have heard about
yeah,
this. I have. Yes, I
Wilhelm
have.
Busch. It's
Yep.
called, I
Yep.
think it's Wilhelm Busch,
Yep.
yeah. And it was
Yep.
so
Yep.
famous.
Yep.
And I remember, you all have the opinion like, you can't read, you can't let the kid read that. He will get like confused or messed up. No, man, you're saying that because you're looking at the pictures as a grown up. When you're looking at the picture as a child, you have a totally understanding of the pictures. When I looked at it
Yep.
as a child, it didn't mess me up. I thought it was very interesting
Yep.
because, and I kept coming back to these kind of lessons instead of what you say, the watercolor bunny who's flying in the clouds, and that shit is boring, even for a
Yep.
young kid. You don't have.
Yep.
And I talked about that with the mom of my girlfriend, and she's doing also doing children's books,
Oh.
and she said, uh, but she's also just getting started. She has done like three or four, but really cool. And she also said like, as artists for children's book, you're not in this kind of time we're living in. You can't afford to touch any edges. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You need
Yep.
you need to be, and that's like, man, it has
Yeah,
to be boring before it is even written with those
yeah,
kind of rules. And
that's the
oh
impossibility of publishing today because
yeah,
children are more advanced and sophisticated, and they know if something is like a boring go to sleep book, like like Good Night Moon or something, that it won't grab
Yeah,
them. So they need something edgy like Captain Underpants. It has fart jokes and it has underwear, and but meanwhile, some of that stuff is also considered inappropriate, by your religious groups and Moms for Liberty, and they're trying to ban everything. So you can't win, and in the end, I
right,
think in the end, you just have to put it out and see,
right.
like just try
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
because it's going to be the edgy stuff that kids are attracted to naturally. And if they
yeah.
have good parents, the parents will allow them to question things and allow them to read challenging things, and
Sure.
and things that bring up discussions. That's what makes life interesting.
Yeah,
So we do have these sanitized books that are like safe for everybody, and then
yeah.
it's like the Cat in the Hat. But then you find out that Dr. Seuss' real name is Theodore Geisel, and he had you know
The dark
ra-
side.
yeah, he had editorial cartoons, he had racism
Yep.
and anti-Semitism and
Yeah.
all this other stuff. So
Yeah.
it's like you have to let artists have their private life, and you just take each piece on its own merits. That's what you got to do. Be if you're going to try and say this guy's canceled because he did something somewhere else,
I,
that you never read it, you'll never
yeah.
be able to read anything.
I think that is so strange because when I'm a reader, and then man, then if you don't like it, don't buy it. You don't have to sue the guy for what? You have
Yeah.
the freedom
Yeah.
to not consume his books. Nobody is coming
Yep.
to you and said you have to read this book. Nobody says it. Just let
But
the
the
man be.
children. But the children. What about the children?
Right.
That always rings in my head, as that's the only response that's
Yeah,
out
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there from somebody. Now, I have no children, and that's a choice on my part. And I have a complete respect for parents and the challenges that come along with parenthood. But I also know when I was growing up, and I was a very adventurous. Let's classify me as adventurous.
But
I
that's good.
always found the things I wasn't supposed to find.
Yeah, and they're
And
interesting. They're way more
right?
interesting. The same thing. I see you like I I see you the same example for me like in the blockbuster reading all the covers from the horror
Yes.
movies because I wasn't allowed
Yep.
to, you know?
Yep. Yep. We just have to be very conscientious, I guess, in putting it out there. But once again, I just want to bring it back to what my question is, and it's not for you to figure it out, but I'm putting it kind of on you, Tim, is what would happen if this book was a print on demand on Amazon, and it was classified as maybe they have a category for children, children's books that teach you about the horrors of drugs or something like that.
Okay, I think you can debate on that, but I think where it's getting really tricky is because when it comes to the curse words. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah. See, there I
I
go.
mean,
I can't. I don't censor that for myself. So.
but but
Yeah, we're gonna have the same question when we put out our book, because we have some light toplessness, and
Light
yeah,
toplessness.
I'm
the,
going to
the
to try to make that like a separate version. I think we're wiser to cover that up. Just put some kind of flimsy little ripped up top on there. Some rag top. Just to cover that up, because if you give them any excuse to say, look, a nipple, like everyone's gonna die.
Perverts.
Yeah, you're just
yeah,
child pornography. So
It is
but you are
tough.
very.
It is tough.
But the rating, I think the rating is way more strict when it comes to nudity in America than in Germany. I
Oh
bet.
yeah.
I
Oh
bet.
yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah. Oh, I know.
We,
I
yeah,
know.
you know.
Because all the comics that I buy, I should say, probably 80% of the comics I buy are European comics. And it's not because they're topless or whatever it is that they're just so much allowed to be that much more honest instead of the, like Jake saying, which I'm fine with as well. Doing let's say a low grade version, whatever you could call it. But I'm always attracted to honesty in art, and when somebody is not censoring themselves,
Yes, yes.
it's honest. It's just it's out there, and yeah, just like you're saying, if you don't like it, don't buy
Don't
it.
buy it.
Don't look at it. And
But
that's the vote. That is the vote. The less dollars that individual has, the less he or she's going to be able to make it.
do you
You
know?
know,
I mean, and that's a that I'm slightly off topic now, but that remembers
it's
me
all
of,
right.
you know David Lynch, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yes, love
Man,
it.
when I first, I think I saw Eraserhead when I was pretty young, and
Yeah.
you know, David, the movie starts and you say, okay, I get it, okay, I get it, and then 30 minutes, I don't know what's happening, I don't know what's happening, but but you can't deny that he always, even if you can't follow the story or it is left for interpretation, he always give you that feeling, you know, and that is
Yeah,
so special. I always like honored him for like he just had his vision, man, and he didn't he wasn't interested if anybody gets it or not. He was just he had
it's
this
honesty,
feeling
pure
and this
honesty.
vision, yeah, purity for this level of filmmaker, and I mean he's very famous here in Germany. Um, I think he's pretty honest. That's what I'm getting when I watch him this movie, these
Yeah,
movies. He
yeah,
also was a big influence for me.
yeah. Wow. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Eraserhead was shown here in the midnight shows. That means
Really,
it
Yes.
came on every
was it
week, and people
X-rated?
would go see it in the theater every week forever, for years.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
In New York City, and I saw it once, and then I was like, oh my god, why would anybody watch this over and over? It's so depressing, you know. But
It
it
is.
does bring you, somewhere. It is real escapism, and the just bizarre nature of what they're presenting on the screen is
It
you
is
know
interesting because as I got older, I mean, I think you watch David films in a different view when you're like 15 or when you're 30. And I tried to watch it when I was 30 or something, and I couldn't watch it because I felt so um I felt so for the poor little creature screaming on his death.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't watch it. When I was like
It's
18
tough.
or something, I was like, that's weird. That's kind of
Yeah.
funny. But when I
Right.
rewatched when I was 30, it still had totally another impact on me.
Yeah.
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 Eraserhead. Wow.
Yeah. So tying
What?
tying this all up, tying
Yeah.
this all up is
Yeah.
we sent you a copy of Turbo Teaser, and you sent us a copy of Boy in the
Yes.
Sewer, and now it's your opportunity to give us some feedback on what you thought of, and Turbo Teaser, and of course if you have any questions or anything like that, we're always entertaining that. So let us have
First question, when is it coming out?
it, Jake.
Yeah, well, we're
Okay.
just going to be putting out in the next month or two. We're going to be putting out the 16-page teaser. So the
Oh,
teaser
really?
is going to be growing little by little as we release.
6 pages at a time.
Yeah, and it's really only for super fans. When the whole first issue is done, it'll be 32 pages plus covers, so 32 plus 4, and it's gonna take a while. So we're releasing what we have as a teaser,
Absolutely.
and we're just trying to build our network, and we have the podcast, which is interesting, but
Yeah.
we only work on this one day a week usually, maybe a
Oh,
little bit
really?
more in the summer, maybe a little
Yep.
bit more on holidays, and this is about the pace that we can sustain, to do high quality work. And so, it's a commentary on the comic industry where you have, creative people that are trapped in day jobs and could be creating, at a very high level to put beautiful art into the world, except the capitalist system is oppressing us every single day, 24 hours a day. So you know um we're gonna put out another a 16-page version of that, so it'll just grow a little bit longer and longer, but we just need people to have to hang in there until probably sometime in next year, when the full first issue comes out. I would estimate 2025.
Yeah, I can add to that, Jake, because we are getting a bit of momentum because we're both coming back to comics after a long break. So we're sort of refiguring things out and acclimating to the new landscape of comic book making and distribution and buying and all that. But yeah, we could definitely see this time next year us talking, like an Indiegogo kicks, crowdfunder to get ourselves up and moving. Um, so we will see, but yeah, and we're the only. This is the other thing too, Tim, is that we're the only two guys that we can find that are doing a podcast and simultaneously working on the same comic together. So a lot of
Yeah.
times it's one guy working on their comic and then one guy working on his comic, and then they're just shooting the breeze about comic book making. And we're doing the same thing, but we're able to interject, like, Jake asking me a question about, hey, we've got this left or right we need to take in the story. What do you think?
Yeah,
And then,
yeah,
or I will be going in about 2 episodes from now. I'll be presenting my preliminaries to Jake in this format. So then him
yeah,
and I can go through and he can make kind of what we call art director, like, hey, you're a little too dark. You need to start creating some more light, or maybe you're
yeah.
too dark and light. And can we get some more gray value, or suppress some of that information there? So, we're proud of what we're doing and how we're going about it, but we also feel the frustration of those who are jumping on board and following us and becoming fans. So we also thank them. So
Yeah, sure. So, first of all, I would trade the new teaser for 2 bottles of wine, if that's a good deal.
you got it. You got it.
Sounds like
You
a
got a
good deal
deal.
for us.
And it's
Okay,
on
yeah,
camera. It's on. We have it taped contractually.
I won't disappoint, I promise.
Yeah, so
And neither will we.
yeah, so
Okay, so
it really is a teaser. Like, where do you think the story is going to go? Like, what does this put you in the frame of mind? What's your expectation? We're very interested, like, where this brings a reader, and just only getting the beginning.
so maybe I start from the beginning. I think when I first found you, I was just, wild Googling some words to find new stuff because I was bored. Always, I was like, I needed new input, and I found you guys. Oh, by the way, are you MMA fans?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Well, it's not my main thing, but I'm a school teacher, so I appreciate that it's taking America over, and the kids all love it, and I have some things that I prefer, more than
Yeah,
others. Maybe my tastes are a little bit older. We talk a lot on this podcast about Cobra, and I used to be into Battle of the Planets, back when, those are all my favorites. But you look at all this stuff that's coming out, and you have to appreciate. There's Cobra. You have to appreciate, anything that's popular, that grabs the attention, of kids and sells a lot of copies. It's
yeah.
worth a look. So, yeah, what is this? How are you bringing this up into the conversation? Like, what was it reminding you of?
I mean, it's called pit fighter, and I mean, pit fighting is like, I don't know, a raw form of it's. I think it's an American gym where Chuck Liddell trained at first. It's called the Pit, and I don't know if you know Chuck the Iceman Liddell.
Maybe through Joe Rogan.
Yeah, right, Joe Rogan. No, it was I think Kurt, when I first contacted you, I said this is awesome. This is so
Yeah,
cool,
thank you.
and it is, especially I'm a big I'm a I am absolutely drawn and lost into details. I love details,
Mm.
details, because details is, I think, a good the best sign of your what is it called in English, of your fascination, your dedication to your work, right?
Mm.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Um, and I really like that. And I think I also wrote you that it reminded me of all the classic action movies from the 80s, like
Hmm.
Yes.
RoboCop, and I love RoboCop, The Terminator. It had a little, I think it had also a little Mad Max vibes, you know?
Oh yeah.
You
Oh
get
yeah.
that.
That's what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get that a
Yeah.
lot.
And
That's intentional. Yeah.
I don't know if you heard the comparison before, but I do think of the first Alien movie,
Oh, okay.
Oh.
because I was really young when I when I watched the first Alien movie, and what amazed me was the attention of detail in the ship. And I think
Huh.
when you see the details explains the whole surrounding just by the details, and it was so thought out and everything. The computers that are blinking. I also watched the Alien documentary. It was amazing how much detail they had, and no CGI, no nothing. They built it all,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Right.
Yep. Yep.
And compared to you guys, when I look at it, I know for a fact that you created it with your own hands, and that gives me the same feeling when I watched Aliens, knowing that these guys created these little details from hand that makes this whole world work. And I
Interesting.
think
Wow.
that I think that got me really drawn to your work. And I think I'm really open-minded where it is going. But I I am kind of reminded of do you know Prison Pit, the
No.
Um.
comic?
No. That.
Yeah?
Oh no, I don't think so. No.
No?
Nope.
Oh, it's
Prison
just
Pit.
that yeah, it's totally different than yours, but I had the thought that she when she escapes with the other girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
That there's gonna be obstacles, but in Prison Pit there is just like this guy who runs from villain to villain to villain, and they get stronger and stronger and stronger, and he wants to reach I don't remember the goal he wants to reach. Um, Running Man, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Dustin Hoffman movie.
He, what is that other movie called with Arnold Schwarzenegger with the
That's
The
costume from this
Predator.
game show? No, no, not Predator.
oh
Oh, Total Recall.
No, not Total Recall. Arnold Schwarzenegger is in that game show, and there's this guy with like chainsaws and shooting electricity. It's some kind of game
Oh
show where
yeah,
you
yeah,
just.
yeah, yeah.
is
I
Oh
that
think it's
crud.
called.
True
I
Lie?
think
No.
True Lies. No, no, not True Lies. But
No.
I think it's called Running Man.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
What you mean, Jake, is Marathon Man.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right, right.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, 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 yep.
And
Oh,
in
yeah.
Running
So the
Man, they
Running
have.
Man. Yeah,
Yeah,
not 1987. That's an Arnold movie from 1987. I don't know if I
yeah.
saw that one.
Oh, I did.
You have you have to.
Yeah.
It's classic. It's a classic. It's so
Okay.
Yeah.
good. It's so good. It's like a B movie with bigger budget.
Yeah, but the same feel as a B movie.
Yeah, right. And I think the costumes you designed for all the guys, the military and the enemies she's fighting, and it's really kind of reminds me of Running Man.
Okay.
Sorry when I jump from topic to topic, but I just want to get my thoughts out. It's
Oh
really
yeah,
complicated.
yeah.
Um, but I'm really open-minded where your story is going. But I am most exciting about meeting the main villain because I bet there is one, right?
Yeah.
Yes, there will be. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm excited.
that's going to be, so that's something that we speak about here and there on the pod, but it's it's kind of like we're working backwards where you know you see when you're watching a movie preview and they're like, in a world of post-apocalyptic wasteland, it's like, okay, you just use one sentence to tell us where we're at, but now you need to make a story, that explains that. Like, how did it get that way? And and what does that have to do with the story? So
What
we did, that with that in mind, we worked backwards, and we invented a whole world that does explain how, everything went bad. And
Yeah,
the bad guy is going to be a very big part of that. The bad
yeah.
we already explained that on the back page of the teaser that there's a multi-billionaire family that gets so powerful that they overcome the government,
Yep.
and so the bad guy is going to be part of that family, but nobody's really going to know that until the very last issue when there's like a big reveal, and there'll be this cruel, like, pit fighting torturer guy, um, that's going to maybe remind readers of Humongous from Road Warrior,
Mm,
and then he'll also turn out to be the grandson of the D. Huberton family, and his mask will be taken off. It's gonna be a very stunning climactic scene, and I just give away the spoilers, like willy nilly. I don't know if it's smart, but um, I think that because our process is being documented, that I just want to bring everybody in, to the planning, and um, how you just have like an outline, and you kind of like sketch things in little by little. So that's all ongoing, and those are some interesting references. I love the first Alien, the movie. There was a great graphic novel that came out, that really captured it. A lot of people don't remember, but like the first
which
45
one?
minutes, the first Alien.
The graphic novel for the first Alien?
Yeah, there was a graphic novel a long time ago for the first Alien movie. I
Really?
don't remember. I don't remember who put it out, but
It was
um,
Marvel. I think it was under their Epic.
yeah,
Let me
yeah,
look
I
it
think
up. And it was somebody pretty big. It's not Steranko.
no, it was, but they had done a great job, and you never saw any reprints or anything. So it seems like it
Oh,
just kind of disappeared. But that movie was so dramatic in the build
yeah.
up to seeing the alien, and that's why it's one of the most classic sci-fi movies ever made, because you don't see the monster for 45 minutes,
Right. But the
and then,
tension
like,
is so
Archie
thick.
Archie Goodwin and Walter Simonson.
Simonson. Oh my god. Yeah, they did
I
a
have to
great
look it up.
they did a great
Yeah,
Can you
adaptation. They
yeah,
did a
can you buy
yeah.
that? Can you buy that on Amazon? You can, right?
better
Yes,
Right?
hurry.
Can you?
I
Yeah.
just looked it up. Yeah, I just looked it up. So
Yeah, and we love the Planet of the Apes. We love the Alien
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
We love all that. So that does come up a lot, but there's also like the visual style too, and we're hearing what you're saying. There's a lot of work does go into the details and the background. I always tell Kurt, we can't skimp on the backgrounds. Every time I'm reading comics, I always say too sparse, too sparse. You gotta have stuff. Even if it's just a little bit of brick, even if it's just a little bit of a
Yeah.
machine, you gotta
Yeah.
put something
Yeah.
back there.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right. So we are definitely coming to we're over our 45-minute point where we're trying to keep these bite sized. On the outs, Tim, is there anything that you want to give us in the way of, shouts out to where people could find you, or any things you want to say about the next thing you're working on?
Well, you can look at my Behance profile. You can
I'll have.
find me when you what?
Oh no, I
Yep.
was gonna say I'm gonna put it in the description below.
Yeah, Ply Peach. It's called Ply Peach. You can find me. That's my name. I paint
Right.
by.
And
Um,
you have some good references that Kurt will also link to. I'm looking at Prison Pit right now. That looks really interesting from Frantic Graphics.
Yeah.
Some
yeah.
good good references came up definitely.
You have to put all your references in the link also because I have a lot of reading to do. Um,
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
hey, do we have time for one final question?
Absolutely. Go for it.
Sure.
So you guys are recording your work when you do your work live, right? The process and everything,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
What was it? How did you do that? I mean, came it by natural? Because for me, like working on a comic strip is man, I have to find the right words. What do I call it? It's like it has something to do with intimacy for me. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes. Us as
It's
well.
very
Us as well.
it's very personal. It's very personal
Yeah.
for me. And how do you guys came up with that idea? And what I want to ask is, was it hard to like draw and everything is recorded and you're gonna upload it and people can watch you doing the process?
Yeah. They they can see me erasing things two and three and four times before I get it right. It's all on
Yeah, it was
film.
Jake was the one that suggested it because he called me a little less than 2 years ago, asking if I wanted to get back into working on something together, and I said, yeah, sure. I got some time. Maybe we could
Mm,
work on Sundays or something. And of
mm,
course, we didn't really get anything done the first month and a half, and then Jake suggested doing a podcast, and my day job, part of it is I help artists do online marketing. So I'd always been thinking about trying to get one started for one of the guys I'm working with, but it just never came up. So I was like, well, heck, I'll do it for myself. So we were working with a software called Ninja for a while, and it just didn't technically jive with us. I did some research, and there's two platforms. I can't remember the other one. We just chose this one, which is called Riverside, which is a pretty straightforward jump on, press record and go to town. But then I can download the files and then edit them myself. So, also to answer your question, if there's something we really don't want shared, which is very, very, very rarely, we have the ability to cut that out. But we're in the thinking that nobody's going to spend 45 minutes with us every Sunday because that's a lot of time. So we're doing it for ourselves as documentation. But then once Turbo comes out as, like, let's say, a comic book, and it gets a lot more attention, then maybe people will come back and be able to come back and binge some of the episodes and find it. So in marketing, as part of my job, is you want things that are called evergreen. So it's not something that just flashes in the pan and excites and disappears. It sits there, and when, like you did, searching for certain words, Google sets up things in YouTube, and then you're like, oh wow, look at this, these guys, oh wow, this is really interesting. And then you did the magic thing that we're always asking people to do, because we're totally approachable, is contact us, because we're really at our core, we're I'll say this for myself. Jake can rebuke it a bit, but we're really more about building a community. than trying to make a comic book and sell it. And that was also why we agreed to start taking some of our time on Sundays and meeting with somebody like yourself, because it's so incredibly inspiring, Tim, to spend this, this hour of time and exchanging and going back and forth, and also hearing your honest feedback to our work, because it really just does us such a judge, and we hope we're supplying that in return.
Sure. I mean, I'm gonna be I'm gonna become a children's book author, I guess.
Yeah, you're gonna get
Nah, good point.
handcuffed
Good
because
point.
of Kurt.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, sorry for my English. I hope you understood everything I
oh my
said.
gosh, no, no, no,
Hey,
no. It's
hey.
perfect, perfect. And we also want you to know, because we're telling all those that we're having this indie comic exchange and interviewing. We're not doing a one and done, so we're not saying we've got the Tim Hoffman on record and we don't have to do it again. We're definitely going to have you back next year. And we're going to drink some wine, and we're going to look at the Turbo Teaser too, and anything that you have going on. So with
Right.
that being said, we'll let these people get back to reading comics, making them if they do. Tim, do you have anything else on the out?
No, man. Just keep doing what you love. Keep pushing, never stop. That's what from hot to paper, right?
There you
Yes,
go.
thank you. And then Jake?
No, yep, that's good, man. Everybody check out Ply Peach on the socials, and we'll check back again.